Imagine two people facing the exact same catastrophic loss. Their business burns down overnight, taking years of hard work with it. The first person screams at the sky, punches the wall, curses his luck, and spends the next 3 weeks drinking away his sorrows, paralyzed by what happened. The second person stands before the smoking ashes, taking a single deep breath, and asks himself one question: what is the very next logical step? The difference between these two reactions isn't a matter of age, wealth, or intelligence. It's the invisible boundary that separates a boy from a man. In ancient Rome, the Stoics called this the ultimate test of character. True maturity isn't handed to you when you turn 18 or 21. It is forged through 5 brutal, uncompromising discipline rules that most people spend their entire lives avoiding. If you are tired of being ruled by your emotions, your impulses, and the chaos of the world around you, pay close attention. These are the 5 Stoic rules of discipline that separate the men from the boys. Let us look back at an ancient harbor town where a devastating storm has just sunk a fleet of trading ships. A young merchant stands on the pier, weeping openly, tearing at his clothes, blaming the gods, the weather, and the captain. Next to him stands an older man, an old Stoic philosopher who's just lost as much cargo in that very same storm. The philosopher's face is calm. He isn't happy about the loss, but he isn't broken either. The young merchant turns to him, furious, and asks how he can just stand there when everything they build is at the bottom of the sea. The old man replies gently, asking if his anger will pull the ships from the ocean floor, or if his tears will dry the soaked silk. This brings us to the first fundamental rule of Stoic discipline. Men focus entirely on what they can control, while boys waste their life force agonizing over what they cannot. A boy believes that the world owes him favorable conditions. When traffic delays him, when a partner leaves him, or when the economy shifts, he treats it as a personal insult. He throws a tantrum because he operates under the illusion that he can dictate external events. A man, however, has internalized the ultimate truth that some things are up to us and some things are not. When the storm hits, the man does not waste energy wishing the clouds away. He accepts reality as it is, instantly pivots, and redirects 100% of his energy toward his own response. The boy complains about the rain. The man builds a shelter. The second rule centers on the battle within your own mind, the mastery of impulse. Imagine a young man sitting at a crowded feast. Every time a plate of rich food passes, he grabs it. Every time a cup of wine is poured, he drinks it. If someone insults him across the table, he instantly snaps back with an insult of his own, his face flushing with rage. He is a leaf blowing in the wind of his own impulses, completely at the mercy of whatever urge pops into his head. Contrast this the Stoic leader sitting nearby. He feels the same hunger, the same thirst, and the same sting of the insult. But between the stimulus and his response, there's a distinct heavy pause. He decides when to eat, how much to drink, and whether an insult even deserves the breath it takes to answer. This is the discipline of the emotional delay. A boy is a slave to his immediate desires and passing moods. If he doesn't feel like working out, he doesn't. If a notification pops up on his phone, he abandons his deep work to chase the cheap dopamine hit. If someone cuts him off in traffic, his whole day is ruined. He has no filter between his raw instincts and his actions. But a man understands that your impulses are nothing more than suggestions, not commands. The ancient Roman emperors constantly reminded themselves to stop letting their strings be pulled like a puppet by every passing whim. When a man feels anger, laziness, or irritation rise up inside him, he doesn't immediately act on it. He steps back, observes the emotion, and lets it cool down. He governs his mind. He does not let his mind be governed by passing shadows. Our third rule takes us away from the comfort of the feast and into the cold, harsh elements. The rule of voluntary discomfort. In ancient Rome, Seneca, one of the wealthiest men in the empire, would regularly spend a few days eating the cheapest food, wearing rough clothes, and sleeping on the hard ground. His friends thought he was losing his mind. Why would a wealthy man live like a beggar? Seneca did it because he knew a profound truth. Comfort is a beautiful cage that makes you weak. A boy chases comfort above all else. He wants the softest bed, the warmest room, the easiest path, and the least amount of resistance. But because he is coddled by comfort, he lives in constant, paralyzing fear of losing it. He is terrified of what will happen if he loses his job, if the luxury goes away, or if he has to do hard labor. His comfort has made him a hostage. A man, conversely, deliberately seeks out small doses of hardship to keep his edge sharp. He takes the cold shower, he fasts for a day, he lifts the heavy weights, and he chooses the difficult tasks over the easy distraction. He does this not out of self-hatred, but out of self-preservation. By voluntarily stepping into the cold, he proves to himself that he can survive adversity. He breaks the power the luxury holds over him. When you see a man who can sleep on a hard floor with a smile on his face, you're looking at someone who cannot be broken by hard times. He has separated himself from the boy who melts the moment the temperature drops. The fourth rule is one of the rarest disciplines in the modern world, the guarded tongue. Watch a group of immature individuals in a room. Everyone is desperate to talk, to shout over one another, to boast about their achievements, to gossip about their peers, and to complain about their problems. A boy talks constantly because he is desperately seeking validation. He wants everyone to look at him, to think he is smart, and to think he's important. He uses his words to complain, to make excuses, and to tear others down just to lift his own fragile ego. The Stoic rule of discipline is brutally simple. Speak only when your words are more valuable than silence. The founders of Stoicism famously remarked that we have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason, so that we may listen twice as much as we speak. A man does not feel the frantic need to fill every empty space with the sound of his own voice. He listens intently, he observes, he processes. When he does speak, his words carry weight because they are born from reflection, not reactivity. He doesn't gossip because he knows minds that focus on people are small minds. He doesn't brag because his actions speak clearly enough on their own. He doesn't complain because he knows that whining is a public admission of weakness. His silence isn't a sign of emptiness, it is a sign of immense internal gravity. Finally, we arrive at the fifth and heaviest rule of all, the one that serves as the ultimate dividing line: radical accountability. When a boy fails an exam, misses a deadline, or ruins a relationship, he immediately points his finger outward. It was the teacher's fault. The boss was unfair. The traffic was terrible. His childhood was difficult, or his friends misled him. He's had an endless supply of alibis, but by blaming the world, he gets to protect his ego, but he also remains completely powerless. If everything is someone else's fault, then he has no power to fix anything. He remains a perpetual child, waiting for someone else to rescue him. A man looks directly into the mirror, even when external factors genuinely make his life harder. A man asks a completely different question. What was my role in this failure, and how do I fix it? He takes full ownership of his life, his financial state, his health, and his mistakes. He doesn't offer excuses because he knows that an excuse is just a coat of paint on a rotten wall. The ancient philosophers wrote that we must be tolerant with others and strict with ourselves. A man understands that while he may not be responsible for the bad luck that happened to him in the past, he is 100% responsible for how he heals, how he adapts, and how he moves forward today. He accepts the burden of his own life with a quiet, unshakable dignity. The transition from a boy to a man doesn't happen automatically. With the ticking of a clock, it is a daily choice. It is choosing control over chaos, mastery over impulse, discomfort over weakness, silence over noise, and ownership over excuses. If you are ready to stop drifting through life and want to build a mind that cannot be shaken by the storms of this world, you are in the right place. Hit the subscribe button right now to join this community of modern Stoics. Let's build an unshakable foundation together, step by step, day by day. Thank you for listening, and stay disciplined. Love and respect.